In the dead silence of the Arctic, only giants made of steel dare to move. Beneath endless ice and darkness, powerful ships carve paths through nature's harshest realm. These aren't just vessels, they're floating fortresses of science, ambition, and human endurance. And here's where it gets awe-striking. Picture an endless expanse of ice, silent and unbroken, until the surface quivers. It's not an earthquake, it's Arktika, Russia's flagship nuclear icebreaker, forging a path through ice that would stop lesser ships. This is no ordinary vessel. Arktika is the lead ship of Russia's Project 22-220 class, currently among the largest and most advanced nuclear icebreakers ever built. She spans 173.3 meters in length, with a beam around 34 meters, and features a dual draft design so she can navigate both deep Arctic seas and shallower river mouths. Power on Arktika comes from two RITM-200 pressurized water reactors, each rated at 175 megawatts thermal. Those reactors feed a nuclear turboelectric plant that drives 3 propeller shafts, giving the ship the sustained power to push continuously through roughly 2.8 meters of level ice under design conditions. During sea trials, Arktika demonstrated convoy-leading capability across heavy pack ice and maintained speed in around 2.8 meters of thick ice. Unlike what most people imagine, the Arktika doesn't just plow straight through the ice. It conquers it with precision. Its hull is shaped to climb up onto the frozen surface. Then, its sheer mass, over 33,000 tons of steel, comes crashing down, crushing the ice beneath like glass. Every crack and rumble under its bow is the sound of raw engineering meeting nature's toughest barrier. The vessel is operated under the state enterprise Atomflot Rosatom and is designed to keep the northern sea route open year-round, escorting merchant vessels and supporting Arctic operations. Its variable draft lets it serve in both deep sea and river estuary zones, replacing older icebreakers in the fleet. In trials, Arktika achieved a top speed of 22 knots in open water. It carries a crew of approximately 75 personnel. When Arktika pushes forward, ice splits and fractures beneath its bow, a harsh symphony of steel meeting nature. Inside, operators monitor reactor status, propulsion systems, and navigation from control rooms alive with blinking panels. Outside, north winds can whip decks into bone-freezing cold. The crew lives in isolation, far from civilization, with all the risks of maintaining a nuclear reactor in one of the Earth's most remote locations. Geopolitically, Arktika isn't just a tool of exploration, it's a symbol of Russia's Arctic ambitions. While many countries build diesel or hybrid icebreakers, Arktika embodies a technological leap. Staying power, dominance, and endurance in ice that would defeat almost any other ship. And this is only the beginning. Because if Arktika is raw power, the next ship takes us somewhere completely different, into the heart of isolation itself. Just when you think nothing could outmatch Arktika's sheer power, the story takes a turn, from domination to pure endurance. This next one isn't about strength, it's about survival. Germany's famous icebreaker, RV Polarstern, didn't just travel through the Arctic. During the MOSAiC expedition, the largest Arctic expedition in history, it became part of it. From September 2019 to October 2020, the Polarstern was frozen into Arctic sea ice and drifted across the central Arctic Ocean, serving as a stationary platform for nearly 12 months. The expedition involved researchers from 20 countries. Led by the Alfred Wegener Institute, MOSAic's goals were massive: to study the coupled systems of atmosphere, sea ice, ocean, biogeochemistry, and ecosystems. Conditions were brutal. The polar night, when the sun does not rise above the horizon, lasted approximately 150 days. At times, the temperature plunged to negative 42.3 degrees Celsius, and when the wind chill was accounted for, it felt even colder. Life aboard was complicated, working in snowstorms, drilling ice cores, and maintaining instruments, all while insulated in dim, cramped quarters. Hundreds of ice cores were collected. Monitoring stations drifted away from the ship. Polar bears were sighted close to the ice floe. Technical work didn't stop for the cold. Hundreds of scientists and support personnel operated labs in the freezing environment, deploying atmospheric sensors and carrying out oceanographic and ice studies. The data harvest was enormous. thousands of ice cores, atmospheric sampling, and ocean measurements throughout the seasons. All that effort paid off. When the voyage ended, the Polarstern returned carrying volumes of data unparalleled in Arctic history. Scientists characterize MOSAiC as one of the most ambitious and significant polar expeditions ever undertaken. Polarstern's story shows what humanity endures when pushed to the edge: constant cold, isolation, and risk. But also the reward. That kind of determination, surviving the Arctic to reveal its secrets, is more powerful than any engine or steel hull. But now things have become more intimate since the next ship is about people, not only about power or endurance. The laughter, the worry, the unending white horizon, and the faces driving the research. Here's where the narrative shifts again. From the unrelenting power of Arktika and the frigid isolation of Polarstern, we come to something deeply human. The USCGC, United States Coast Guard cutter, Healy, is America's only operational heavy icebreaker built specifically for scientific mission support. It's not just a ship, it's a floating community, a platform for discovery, and a symbol of U.S. commitment to Arctic study. Operated by the U.S. Coast Guard, Healy fulfills dual roles. It supports cutting-edge research and also projects national presence in the high latitudes. According to official Coast Guard sources, Healy provides more than 4,200 square feet of laboratory space, numerous electronic sensor systems, oceanographic winches, and accommodations for up to 50 scientists. Healy is capable of sustained icebreaking. It is designed to break 4.5 feet of ice continuously at about 3 knots. It can also operate under extreme cold, in temperatures down to negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside, the vessel is alive with activity. Scientists from multiple disciplines, oceanography, biology, and meteorology, deploy instruments, map seafloor features, collect water and ice samples, and operate remote sensors. The ship's labs are the hub of that work, enabled by Healy's design and instrumentation. On the surface, Healy pushes through fragile ice, carving corridors through frozen seas. Its bold red hull is a visual contrast to the white Arctic. Crews and researchers peer through frosted windows, observing polar light, ice flows, and the stark beauty around them. Life aboard the Healy is a mix of routine and tension. The ship is cramped, with shared bunks, shared bathrooms, narrow passageways, steep stairs, and tight working spaces. When conditions worsen, storms, heavier than predicted ice, equipment strain, every shift becomes more demanding. Reports emphasize the tight culture. Crew depend heavily on one another, and morale, communication, and mutual support are critical to getting through long deployments. Some comforts remain: good meals, heated living spaces, warm camaraderie, though the crew are always aware they are far from easy. In recent years, Healy's strategic value has grown. As Arctic competition intensifies, with Russia's large nuclear icebreaker fleet and China's ambitions, many analysts see Healy as part of the U.S.'s effort to maintain a presence in the region. While no official document links Healy's missions directly to countering other Arctic powers, public commentary and U.S. policy emphasize increasing U.S. capacity in polar operations. Despite the ice and cold and pressure, what keeps Healy moving isn't just engineering, it's people. Technicians, scientists, sailors, all living in close quarters far from home, working together to push knowledge farther north. In that convergence of cold steel, data, and human resolve, Healy stands out as a vessel of resilience, discipline, and exploration. But the Arctic isn't done revealing its secrets yet, because the next ship takes exploration to another level, blending futuristic tech with nature's raw power in a way few have ever seen. Norway's RV Kronprins Haakon isn't fantasy. It's very real. A modern ice-class research vessel built for the extremes, it reflects Norway's scientific ambition and respect for the Arctic. It's not just a ship, but a tool built for exploration, engineered for precision. Polar Class 3, the vessel allows year-round operation in ice-covered waters, including second-year ice with multi-year inclusions. With a draft of around 8.67 meters, it is roughly 21 meters broad and 100.38 meters long. Under cruising conditions, it can travel 15,000 nautical miles over 65 days without resupply. With 20 centimeters snow cover in ice tests north of Svalbard, it showed it can consistently cut through 1 meter of ice around 4 knots, just beyond its contractual specifications. It can use a ramming strategy for thicker ridges up to 8 meters. The research facilities aboard RV Kronprins Haakon are exceptionally well equipped. Disciplines ranging from geology to marine biology to oceanography have space in 15 fixed labs and 3 container modules. The ship has a moon pool, which is an aperture through the hull allowing researchers to drop instruments, ROVs or AUVs, remotely operated vehicles and autonomous underwater vehicles, into the sea despite the ice. It helps with ROV AUV operations, seismic equipment, trawling methods, sonar devices, and a helicopter deck with a hangar for 2 small to medium helicopters. The ship's design also includes environmental awareness. Designed for strength under severe ice pressures, the hull is made of up to 40 millimeters of steel plating. The ship has 38 cabins and can accommodate a total of 55 people, about 15 to 17 crew members, and up to 35 scientists. It's owned by the Norwegian Polar Institute, while operating time and usage are shared between UiT, the Arctic University of Norway, the Institute of Marine Research, and the Norwegian Polar Institute. This is Kronprins Haakon in action. The vessel breaking through ice, sending submersibles through its moon pool, and scientists peering through frosted windows. It resides at the intersection of design, science, and the Arctic frontier. In the end, Kronprins Haakon is more than a research boat. It's the Arctic brain, where the untamed beauty of the North matches modern Scandinavian accuracy. Leading mankind's following major chapter of polar exploration is a fusion of intelligence, creativity, and reverence for nature. Everything started with a joke. The internet answered in full force when the United Kingdom started a public poll to christen its newest polar research vessel, and the world met Boaty McBoatface. Beginning as a viral joke, this quickly became a moment of group laughter that reminded everyone of how much people still value discovery. Under the humor, however, a moment of elegance arrived as the ship was formally named RRS Sir David Attenborough in a tribute to the great naturalist whose voice has for decades told the marvels of our world. Designed to advance scientific knowledge in both the Arctic and Antarctic, the RRS Sir David Attenborough is a modern polar research ship run by the British Antarctic Survey. With a beam of 24 meters and a gross tonnage of roughly 15,000, it is 125 meters long. It can stay at sea for up to 60 days and can cover 19,000 nautical miles cruising at 13 knots. Among its remarkable characteristics is a 4 meter by 4 meter scientific moon pool, a vertical shaft piercing the hull's midpoint. This enables scientists to use instruments, ROVs or remotely controlled vehicles, and AUVs, autonomous underwater vehicles, in even heavy ice or difficult oceans, therefore improving the safety and dependability of in-ice research. The ship has over 700 square meters of built-in laboratories, as well as the ability for containerized laboratories to be applied as per mission requirements. It has environmental sensors, aerial and marine robots, tools for measuring ice thickness, ocean temperature and salinity, and atmospheric data instruments. At roughly 3 knots, its ice-strengthened hull can break through up to 1 meter of ice. It has bow and stern thrusters for dynamic positioning during delicate instrument deployments. The bright yellow AUV Boaty McBoatface has ventured beneath the ice shelves, gathering vital data on temperature, salinity, turbulence, and traces of marine life. During one mission, it descended nearly 1,000 meters, went almost 100 kilometers under ice, and worked under ice more than 550 meters thick. They cut through ice, distance, and doubt, true titans of the frozen world. Every voyage they take writes a new chapter in our planet's survival story. Beneath the northern lights, their steel hearts beat for science, for progress, and for the unshakable human urge to explore. So what's your favorite Arctic fortress? Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the ice, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's plenty more adventure waiting just beyond the horizon.